Come to another moment, mental clinic. We say that your mind is your special tool. Your mind not only is a tool of engagement, it can also be a tool of destruction. And there's a lot of awareness about mental health, but I'm also concerned because people lack the depth, the understanding, the wisdom, the knowledge, and the insight to be able to protect their mind. So they are more interested to ensure they find environment that suits their anticipated mental health. But one thing I can guarantee you is that even though their house is full of love, does not guarantee that the next house is full of love. Even though your boss is so nice and respect you, does not guarantee your boss, the next boss, will be so nice. Even though that you think that your city is so calm and quiet, where people respect each other, you're not going to be bounded by there. And so we're bringing such awareness about your mental health so that you look at it well. And I've always said something. How you start your day matters a lot. How one starts your day matters a lot. And you see, when you look at artists, sportsmen, you realize that they start from a place of higher energy. Higher energy. When you start from a higher energy, what it means that high energy means that you have sought pain against pleasure. You have this seek pain rather than to seek pleasure. And that's why you see not everybody will be a champion. Champion don't seek they are not in so much focus on winning. They are more focused on developing. They are not focused on winning on the celebration, because it's not the celebration that matters so much to them. It is the strength of deployment of their painful experience that guide them. Have you noticed that your cheering them doesn't change anything? Your cheering them will not sponsor their internal strength. Their internal strength have been sponsored by the previous training through painful development. So a mind that is exposed to weakness has not been trained, is not toughened. And if you don't have a tough mind, which is your asset to withstand, that is the absorbent power that have the capacity to be able to deal with the curves, the true curves. When you see people who run, like maybe 1,000 meters, 15,000 relays, meter relays, they don't sleep the way you sleep. They don't eat what you eat. They don't even call fun. What you call fun doesn't appeal to them, because they know they have the inward strength, the inward capacity to be able to deal with the external toughness. So a weak mind that started in weakness, in complaining, in whining, in frustration, cannot have the capacity to deal with the world. And I want to tell you that it's going to get tougher. You're going to get people who are more selfish. Of course, we're already breeding a generation that are callous, who do not know what is honor. They are so self-centered. They are only thinking about themselves. They talk about specialness. They are too special to even listen to it, because everybody has something plugged on their ear So they are not listening to you. And it's going to get worse because you see, the more we are technologically driven, we become more isolated from human beings. And we become more insensitive. And the more people have become more insensitive, they become more self-centered. And the more they become more self-centered, they become more selfish. And what happens is that we begin to deal with separation. And you see, the people deal with you from what you call bad experience because they separate themselves. They don't think about unification. They don't talk about oneness. That they may be one is already parting us because we're in competitive place. We're measuring ourselves against ourselves. And so it's difficult to deal with this where we are until you have developed such a mental capacity to deal with the complexity that is outside there. Relationships are going to be more demanding now, the way it is. That's why you say, I don't want, this is mental health in my house. You want to run. When you run from your house to another house, you will get to that point where what you're running will continue to run. But we want to be able to develop your mind where you find mental order. So this is where we have mental order. Until you find mental order, which is almost like a systematic or mind, where you have developed your mental construct that they are in orderly fashion. The reason why we collapse is what they call the mental storm. When there's a break, it gives a mental storm. When you're disappointed, mental storm. When the rent hits you, you know what it gives you? It gives a mental storm. It's like an impact of a vehicle. When you collide with a force, two forces, two forces, aggregating to each other, you realize that it comes with an impact. And that impact is what I call the mental storm. So this whole mental health is to be able to extract you, diagnose your problem, be able to offer you solution and prescribe methodologies in a ways that you're going to find that mental capacity and resilience and the inner strength in order to deal with the complexity and the truth ball and the curve of life. So here is a place where we dutifully be able to prescribe ideas that will help you to deal with life punches. So welcome to a new section of Higher Life. You cannot continue to live in lower life where there's complaining, where there's whining, where there's frustration, where you do not have the strong arm, where you are weak, where you are procrastinating, where you do not have mental capacity, and resilience and mental softness to deal with life. So today we're going to be talking about something very special. And I'm excited already around it. You cannot have a balanced mind until you have a thankful mind. So we want to be able to make it light this time around. Fun. If you don't have fun in your mind, you are gone. So mental thankfulness is where we're going to come. It's a practice where you have to engage your mind. What it does is that you're going to be thankful. You're going to be thankful for every experience, every moment. You're thankful. Even when they slap you, thank you because they slapped me. Oh, you're disappointed. Thank you for this disappointment. It's enriching. Oh, you missed the train. Oh, thank you because I missed the train. Oh, the rent comes. Thank you. The guy walked away. Thank you. We want to be able to expand your mind because you see, it is only in gratitude mode, that you find acceptance, what they call radical acceptance. And it's rooted in a story that I heard about a young lady. a young lady that had lost the dad. And for some reason, the mom married another man. And for some strange reason, the man he married previously was married into a royal family. And in this royal family, it's expected that unless the woman, the prospective husband, is able to return the bride price. Otherwise, if she has of intending to have another children without the bride price, all the children she's going to have will belong to the former husband, family. So now this lady was born, and for some strange reason, the father hadn't come with the bride price or to return the bride price, and he had an accident and passed on. Meaning that she was adopted, she has been adopted by that family, so she will now bear the stepfather's name, which is the late mother's husband. As it grew up, of course, she has enjoyed all the privileges of the house and her siblings. But you know how it is, the story started emerging that was not her biological father. And now the mother have loved her, and the mother can't escape any longer because, of course, she needed to give her that fatherhood, experience by staying there. So she was mentally abused. Mentally abused. I don't know where you are in your life, and you're constantly in that mental debasement where you feel you don't belong. You feel you've done everything in life and nothing is working. You have put in your best in your school and yet nothing is working. At job, you are doing your best, but you find yourself sad. Everywhere you go, it seems that it was hurting her because she was mentally abused. This section is devoted to all the people who have been mentally abused because they find themselves in a situation that is not their fault, not their making. It could be that you lost your husband. It could be you lost your best friend. It could be you have lost a precious sibling. It could be you lost a job and you're mentally disarrayed. You can't find the momentum, you can't find the inspiration. There are two things that we're going to talk about here that's going to bring you mental order. You can't find motivation, you can't find the will to forge on. We want to be able to step you above momentum and will into a flow state where you're not forcing life and it's time to stop, relax, sleep. Help has come. And I lie you not, help has come. If you can get this prescription today, you'll start living above motivation and will and get into the state flow. And it's when your mind is in that flow state, it begins to live in what we call alignment, harmony, and abundance. So the young lady decided to do one thing and say, you know what? I like the fact that I'm disadvantaged. I like the fact that I'm disadvantaged. Story is amazing. She had gotten to that point. Two things will happen. Is that she mentally collapsed, which is where so many of us are. We're mentally in that state of relapse. There is no motivation, there is no inspiration, there is no will, there's no energy to move on. I'm coming to your end tonight. Gather yourself together, because we're going to move above motivation, energy, and that will. You don't need the will. You can't be down and deploy will. That's why you're struggling. That's why you're struggling. Every day you struggle to come out of bed. Even to look after yourself now, you can't find that motivation. You can't find that will, power. You can't find that inner strength because it's eroded, because they've abused your mind. Some other people, substance has abused you. I've come to your end this moment. I know you're struggling about that substance. And you feel low because you know you were better than who you are now. I'm coming to the people who are mentally stagnated. I want to bring out of that cage where you find the liberty again, the freedom, the flair, the free spirit, that fluency to move. You don't need will, you don't need motivation. In fact, you may not need inspiration, because you applied them and they didn't work. What we want to do today is to be able to give you step-by-step approach to come out of it. So that lady begin to do something and say, I like rejection. Everywhere you are, just change that phrase, I hate where I am. Change it, I like where I am. Say it. You have used, I don't like where I am, all this while. Can we refresh it? Say it. Because you see, this is what we call tuning into a different frequency. If you don't change the frequency, you are still broadcasting as what you send is what you're seeing. And what happens is that the more you send it, the more you see it, the more it come back to you, because you are on that frequency. We want to change the frequency. And in this change, you don't need will, you don't need motivation. You just need to say, hey, what? A new confession. Tell yourself, I like where I am. It's a paradox of opposite. How can I like it? It is the hatred, the energy of hate that is stagnating you into that place. That's what depleting you. That's what's weakening you. That's what has impaired, that it brings you that impaired mind. If you don't change the frequency, you can't vibrate well. What is vibration? Your thought and your belief system. And that's what I talk about significantly. If you follow me, I want to see that your thought changes, your belief system changes. Of course, when your thought and your belief changes, your emotion changes automatically. You will see the difference. So the first thing she did, learning from that, is, I like where I am. The hate of where you are destroy you more than the event or what have caused you there. So she said, you know what? I like where I am. I like the people who hate me. I like the situation that have brought me this far. I like the fact my dad passed on. I like the fact that my mother gave me out of wedlock. Patrick, are you crazy? It is the hatred, that energy that's creating after its kind. We need to change the frequency. We need to change the frequency that you have tuned in. That is a destructive frequency. He said, oh, I like the fact that you abuse me more. In fact, she exposed herself to those attacks. Was it easy? It wasn't. But she knew, and she got to that realization, that recognition, that if I don't change the frequency, I am a victim of the situation. And I don't know where you are. You are either going to be a victor or you're going to be a victim. And it's a function of the frequency you're operating. So I like where I am. Resistance is tensioned. When you say you don't like or you hate, you are resisting. The more you resist, the more it persists. We've heard that. So you see, when you resist, you are showing weakness. But when you accept, what we call radical acceptance. So what we want to go today is what we call radical acceptance. And I can show you the root of where I learned it, the principle from it. Typical of a woman whose daughter was very ill. She spent all that she could, and she heard a story about a master who has the healing power to heal. Studied about the master. And she accepted and said, hey, I cannot reject this fact because you can't fight fact. You can't fight sickness. You can't fight the fact that you're already there. You can't fight it. Excuse me. Stop fighting fact. Accept fact. You don't, it's not your preference, but you see, the more you fight fact, the more the tension increases, the more it weakens you. Because people are fighting. It's not what they call fight the good fight of faith. No. What is fighting the good fight of faith? Change the dimension. The first thing to do wherever you are is to, first and foremost, is to say, I like where I am. It changes the dynamics. This is what will change you. If your boss is always on you, in your mind say, I like my boss. If there's anybody oppressing you, say right now, I like the oppression. If you are so broke in life, stop rejecting that you are broke. The fact is that you are broke. Say, I like where I am. Very counterproductive, but let me tell you the principle. Give, it shall be given unto you. Press down, shaking together. And I'm going to explain it. Until you change the confession of it, you can't change your situation. And let me give you a bit of it. You know that your mental wellness, your mental health is directed by your confession. Your mental health is really directly influenced by your confession, your speaking. If you speak right, you'll be right. Do you know when once you say, I hate, you have introduced into your conscious and subconscious and your entire system will just, you have given them a signal of hatred. And what happens is that when you see a similar thing, your body has already mastered it. It will continue to be afraid of it. He continued to resist it. He continued to be in that a weak point, because once you're afraid, you are weak. That's what they call learned helplessness. You were not helpless, but because of attaching importance to not recognizing that your word is a command to your body's structure, and that's what gives you mental strength. Let me tell you, if something happens, you don't say a word, you deny its meaning. If you don't say a word, if you don't assign it, if you don't judge it, if you don't classify it, if you don't label it, it is the labeling that is the root of mental suffering. In fact, I could say categorically, mental suffering is rooted in label. The more you label it, that's what brings the experience. So what we want to do is to recalibrate your voice now and say, she said, oh, I like the rejection. Automatically, what it does, it affected his mental attitude. And the moment the mental attitude has shifted from that place of rejection or dejection, discouragement, you now see upward movement. And that's what shifted from a lower level into a higher level. How? She changed her confession. All of us are using the phrase, it is well. Meanwhile, the heart is saying another thing. The mouth is saying another thing. When there's no harmony, when there's no alignment, when there's no flow between the inward and the outward, you cannot sustain it. You are hating it, you are confessing it. And that's why people are saying, I have forgiven, but in their heart, they have not forgiven. You still see the bitterness around it. The guy that hurt you, can you say, I love that guy? Oh, Patrick, you're crazy. How can I love this guy? The hate is impacting on you. The confession, the label is what is impacting on you. To change it is to love the guy. And so he started loving her siblings. He started serving them. He said they are a gift of maturity. They are a gift of expression. Because you see, I have said that expectation is a trap. You cannot be expecting people who don't like you to like you. They don't like you. And now when you say they don't like me, you feel their dislike. But though you have noticed that they don't like you, now tell them you like them. Because now when you like them, we are rewarded by what we say and do. Life doesn't happen to you. Life happens from you. So you're a commander of your life. The moment you hate, you are no longer a commander of your life. Have you not heard that with the heart we believe and with the mouth we confess, and life and death is in the power of the tongue? This is the miracle that will change your dynamics. So the boss that you think is toxic, stop using the word toxic because it impacts on you. Tell the boss is a blessing. So when you change, when your mother that you think that hates you, change it that my mother is a builder. If you change the language, you change the experience. If you don't change the language, you retain the experience. Your way out of any mental degradation is to change the language. It is sustained by label. Your suffering is sustained by label. So she radically accepted who she was then. That's what they call the self-knowledge. So she come to the realization of self-knowledge. I said, you know what? The fact that I can't change the fact that I was born outside wedlock. It's already a known fact. But I've accepted it. That is self-recognition. And when you have self-recognition, it gives you the audacity, to be able to speak after who you are. And so you say, hey, I love my mother, I love my sibling, I love the rejection, I love the devaluation, automatically it changes your entire speed because you are now in a different frequency. But the moment you keep brooding and keep repeating it, that's why you say repetition disconnect you. He that repeated matter, separate yourself. So you separate yourself from your true self. What was the second thing she started doing? She started blessing them. How do I bless? I'll give you a story of my own. For some months, cut across months, I was in a dream, constant dream, where I was put in a cage. Every night when I come, I say, I hate this dream. I hate these people. The next day, I'll go back to the same cage. Consistently, I prayed all manner of prayer, midnight prayer, poured oil, got upset, hate it. It didn't work. More than a year, I was on that sleepless night, doing prayer meeting, midnight prayer. Most of the things that you're praying just rest on changing the level. Once you change the level, the confession, it changes your life. Mental health is rooted in confession. Mental health is rooted in level. Mental health is rooted in whether you are accepting fact or rejecting fact. In fact, rejection is the mother of mental awareness. Now, what did I do? After a while, I got a divine intelligence that helped me. He said, hey, not so, my son. Not so, my son. Bless them. What? How can I bless what is oppressing me? He said, bless them. Give, it shall be given unto you. You can't be looking for peace and be hating at the same time. You can't be looking for good and yet be speaking evil. You can't be looking for honor and yet be in dishonor. They are not in harmonious state. They don't align to creative forces, good creative forces. They will continue to create after its kind. And at that moment, you know what? I started blessing. That was a transformation. I don't know where you are. No matter how you want to reject it, no matter how you want to dislike it, no matter your aversion, no matter your desire, those are self-centeredness. You need to come into principles. And the principle means that you have to change the speaking, you have to change the energy behind it. I said a blessing. What I want you to do now, I told you I'm going to give you prescription. That's what I'm going to give you prescription. And as a medical expert, now we're talking about our mental medical expert. So I give you a description that you have to practice. And I'm going to show you how you're going to dispense it morning, afternoon, night. And so that you can come out of this completely. So in this corner of dispensing the solution, what did I do? I was rejecting the situation. And the situation was rejecting me. I was labeling it. The situation will return back label. So if you said, I am hot, you are hot. Then you feel hot. If you said, I'm abused, you have become abused. So you're equal to that. So what did I do? The first and foremost thing is to awaken to the fact that I can't change fact. I had to accept fact. So if I can't change fact and fight fact, it's illusion of what we call illusion of control. I have to accept it. And that's when I moved on into the third one. It's what I call the mental gratitude. And this one will change the entire space. Now, mental gratitude is something that is not practiced around here. I've not even come into such, has not become a trend. Mental gratitude. This is what mental gratitude does. It's first of all take you like what I call radical acceptance. I've accepted I can't change the fact that they abused me, or they took advantage of me, I lost a job, or the medical bills are piling, or people, my younger ones, are saying to me, let my money welcome me, because I don't have a child, I don't have a husband, or I'm not well to do, whatever it is. The first and fundamental thing is to accept, even that you are attacked. Mental acceptance. That's what we call radical acceptance. What it will lead you is a deeper, what we call that there's something richer beyond your description. There's something bigger. There's a transient self, even in trouble, because there's a richer self that can only be revealed by adversity. There are richer self that cannot be accessed through comfort, that can only be accessed through adversity. And the approach to that adversity is only accepting the fact and now design a curiosity. What if there's a bigger thing behind this? And honestly, in the first story I told you, the truth is that that child was a blessed child. Was going to be like almost the hub of that home. There was just something about that child, very special child. And it means that they were attacking her because of what they have sensed, probably, and felt that, oh, why would she be this kind of a special child? And it has played itself, whether it's in the life of Jephthah or whether it has in the life of Joseph. Go and check. When they reject you, what they are saying, there is something that you carry. And the more you bemoan it, the more you label it, until you come to a mental gratitude where you have accepted it and begin to say, what if there is something bigger behind this adversity? And what it does is that stop judging from your preference point, from your bias state. Judgment is what keeps you in that perpetual state, because you expect everything to align to your preferences. It doesn't happen to that way. You create your world, otherwise the world will create you. So when you are abused and you accept it, what happened that the world has created abuse? You have become the person to abuse, and you are in that low state. So one other thing is, what happened? He said, okay, you know what? I own my life. And how I show up in this life is my responsibility. How I show up is my responsibility. You know what? She said, you know what? I'm not going to allow these people to abuse me. I love them. I respect them. I honor them. And that was the beginning of the transformation, because it's the inner awakening, inner realization that bring such a revelation to turn around. So what was she doing? So she has two options, either to remain in that mental storm and that mental abuse, or she can find freedom. He said, you know what? I'm going to decide 3 things. She changed the label and said, you know what? I'm abused, but I'm loved. I'm abused, but I'm loved. So she told herself that this is what she's going to do 3 times in a day. Because you see, one of the things I found out is that healing is gradual. Healing, especially the way you go to hospital and you are thinking about healing, you stayed in the hospital for months. Healing is gradual. So what has been entrenched cannot suddenly go off because it had been a total disorder. Healing is gradual. It's what they call the slow erosion. What we want to bring you is slow erosion. So he now said, I'm rejected, but I'm loved. I'm rejected, but I'm loved. I'm abused, but I'm loved. She decided to do it 3 times a day. Now, what made that? She was rewiring her subconscious and conscious, her mental story that brought that sensitivity of rejection. She has to have a way to reimplant it, to redesign it. I'm rejected, but I'm loved. I'm rejected, but I'm loved. I'm rejected, but I'm loved. I'm down, but not out. I don't know where you are. You can structure your own. I did that for years over my life. When I found myself, I was always in that state of rejection, whether I was at work, whether I was at home. And I started changing my own. Mine was, I've been accepted in the beloved of the Father. I've been accepted in the beloved of the Father. Morning, afternoon, and night before I sleep, I've been accepted in the beloved of the Father. I've been accepted in the beloved of the Father. I changed the narrative. You can change your narrative through a systematic construction of a phrase. You can phrase it on yourself. She said, I'm rejected, but I'm loved. I'm rejected, but I'm loved. You see the excitement started coming. She was not living above motivation. She was living above will. All she engaged was her mental language. Mental language change. The mental language, until your mental language change, your situation will not change. He said, I'm rejected, but I'm loved. She consistently started programming her mind, started educating her conscious and subconscious level, and she continued to instruct her body, I'm rejected, but I'm loved. I'm rejected, I'm loved. Her confession changed. Now, when she has amplified that, she added a second phrase. I blessed my situation. Oh my God. I blessed my situation. I blessed my situation. I blessed my situation. I'm rejected and loved. I'm blessed. I blessed my situation. I blessed the barrenness. I blessed my unmarried life. I blessed my everything. You begin to call that name and say, I bless you. I bless you. What it means that you are allowing divine blessing to come upon that thing. Until it's blessed, it cannot produce blessing to you. And she started blessing the situation. I blessed my unemployment. I blessed. What is that? It's changing the frequency. You are vibrating in a different level. Now, your energy starts changing. It's now on a matching level of excitement, of joy. Because with joy will you draw from the wells of salvation. You cannot be in sadness and be able to, draw from the wells of salvation. She said, I bless my situation. I bless my womb. I bless my office. I know that this business is not moving, but I blessed my business. This blessing is something that we have not, you will lay hand upon yourself. I'm rejected, but I'm loved. I'm rejected, I'm loved. I'm rejected, I'm loved. I bless the situation. I bless my situation. I bless my situation. I bless my situation. As simple as these are, it is a tool to bring you out of mental storm and this pain. And that's what creates mental balance and stability and clarity. Is that function? You're more creative, you're relaxed, you're joyful. It is free. What's the next one? Which is what? Mental gratitude. And that's what will now change the entire space. So now that erosion started going, start rewiring the story in your mental life. He said, thank you, Father. Thank you, Father. Thank you, Father. Nothing more. Thank you, Father. Thank you, Father. Because you see, your divine inheritance is saturated with joy, with satisfaction. And people have caused us harm. And what they have done is to disenable us from accessing our inheritance. He said, Patrick, this is too simple. Go and ask the captain with leprous disease. Came to the man of God and said, go and dip yourself. To the water, I said, I didn't know what. But now, you're in a state that you're doing a lot of motivation, you're doing a lot of willpower, you're looking for inspiration, you're running around for counseling, you're doing therapy. It's okay. But I'm just giving you the prescription. I'm rejected, but I'm loved. Change the label. As simple as that. That was what makes this lady so powerful. And that's what happened to me. I started blessing the situation. I blessed the people. I blessed the situation. I blessed the people. And I went into, thank you, Father. I didn't say too much. Thank you, Father. 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 I didn't need will. I didn't need motivation. I didn't need inspiration. I was just responsible to myself. And I said, you know what? And it started changing my entire space. It changed the entire space of that woman. Mental gratitude will transform your entire space. Because you see, if you don't have mental gratitude, you have mental complaint. That's why I'm ending. The more you complain about it, the more you retain the experience. The more you say, thank you, Father, the more you release it. And the more you release it, the more you replenish it with a new ideas, with new story. Old ideas will continue to give you that old experience. So which one is better? Is it to relabel it, to bless it, and to adopt mental gratitude? What did I say? Relabel it. I'm rejected, but I'm loved. I'm not rejecting the fact, radical acceptance of the fact. I'm blessing it. I'm changing the frequency from hate to blessing. I'm loving it rather than hating it. Of course, the mental gratitude. If you deploy these three things on a daily basis, you will never be the same. Your life will transform, your experience will change, and your internal mechanism will experience it. If you have any question, I am here to help you. Follow me on Patrick Uduma, or So I Stand Out. Ask your question, and we will be able to give you a deeper concept that will liberate you and bring you to a place of mental wellness. Thank you so much, and see you next time.